So, this is following up the infection game mode document I put in about 3-4 weeks ago on the Uncertain subreddit, and me and the boys have gone around to beta testing it somewhat. Not even beta, like alpha testing it, just seeing what worked, what didn't, and so far this is what we're up with. So connect. We have advanced zones for adding nodes for like the admin shack. Everyone spawns in, gets the perms. Kits for kits, definitely just because it looks fun. Skill sets, with that in a bit. And that kicker because we don't want any cheaters on our server. Or people who have done cheated before. We remove it if you see a lot of people who have passed vax, but they're like 1,000 days like behind. So we'll think about it. Everything's in the works, so we can change as we please. Do /a to make it look better. So, bidding perms are just /guest, and as guest you can only do /p, compass, and rocket. We have two groups. We have infected and survivor. So, yeah, survivor has a higher priority. I'm gonna /p remove sends infected. So let's kit survivor. You have a few kits. So before we get into the kits, we're actually going into the skills. So for this is a skill set infected. You get everything except for a sharpshooter. It's mainly just to make sure people don't switch to it. Because something that the skill set has that the survivor skill set doesn't is just exercise, cardio, or some other basic ones to just keep them from hiding out or from running away. So /skill set survivor. You see, you have sharpshooter, no dexterity though, because reloading really quickly like that, like in 2 seconds, is a little bit overpowered and not fun to play against. So we want to give zombies a chance, you know. So /I caught. If I could properly type with my mechanical keyboard, just makes it a lot easier. So first kit you're gonna get is assault. This has a Ganagaver, few attachments, yada yada yada. Pretty simple. And something you are gonna notice, there is durability. So after a while, you are gonna get less accuracy, less damage, past 47%. Or just to make sure you don't like pop rounds on range, and over time, you'll have to survive 5 minutes to win. 5-10 minutes, we'll change it depending. But for the most part, you won't need to worry about gun durability. Oh yeah, you also have of course. So let's move on to the next kit. If we don't die. So let's move on to the next kit. If we don't die. What? I said let's move on to the next kit if we don't die. Okay. So home. Next what we're gonna get is /get support. And pretty much this is just like shooting rounds on range, shooting everybody. So I have a few military mags, drum mags, ranger mags to give to everybody. You have a few ranger mags, few lob boxes, lob attachments. It's pretty much just for support. You have to wait 10 minutes on like just the 1 minute to get the kit assault because it is pretty heavy. But just like always, there is durability. So after a while, you're gonna have like less accuracy, less damage. So for the claymores, I think I figured out why. Like, so we have a armor multiplier of 4, which means that all armor is multiplied by 4. So what usually should kill you won't. But in this case, we up the damage for landmines and spikes up to 3 times. So they're actually quite dangerous. For example, spikes, usually they just bring you down to like 30%, right? Nope. These are gonna kill you outright. So we have the engineer class, which sets down spikes. We're gonna get to that in a bit. We're gonna new /home. So slash kit, next kit is gonna be specialist. This is a pick class, shotgun, MP40, basic stuff. Let's have some claymores, because of course this is just a pick class. Basic stuff. You have some adrenaline, so because like I said, like it doesn't regen as fast because you don't have cardio as a survivor. So you just use this to shoot up and go fast, go crazy, go stupid. You heard? Yeah. Moving on. Something you also might notice is that we set the despawn rate for items to 60 seconds. So you can't just go around, like for zombies, if you kill survivor, you can't just pick up their items. So next kit is going to be slash kit medic. And for this you have Kester magazine. It's not that good. It's just enough for it to defend yourself. For morphine and everything else. The reason why we have morphine is because saying you can't break your leg. Actually, yes you can. Now this isn't going to insta-count. But something you're going to notice is that the bleed rate is very slow. And we upped the ticks from 750 to 3000. So 750 ticks in unturned language is 15 seconds? Question mark? 15 seconds of bleeding. But for us, it's about 60 seconds of bleeding. So over here you have blood bags to just fill up your blood again. Because you're not always going to need to regen that, because bleeding isn't that much of a priority. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Also, unlike muscle class, you don't have a vest and you don't have a helmet. Because medic is supposed to like live for that long by himself. As you can tell by weaponry and everything else. So protect your medic, he'll protect you. You'll be fine. Yeah, as you can tell, bleeding is still going on. So let's just say I want to do a snare. Alright? But I just want to get a rag. Something we put on the sword is the bleed rate is very slow, but the regen rate is really fast. So that way you don't always need your medic, but the second you start bleeding or you break your bones, you're gonna need to call your medic. That's about it for this class. What else? Next up is Kit Sharpshooter. And it's exactly as you think. So, before we had this class have the lockdown, but something we learned really quickly is players would literally just drop the Hecate and just go straight to lockdown and start spamming shots out an alleyway or down the doorway. And it was just really not fun to play against. So what we did is that we gave them, instead of the regular Hecate, we gave them the olive Hecate for more durability, and gave them just a lot of scopes and stuff to spread to their people. Other than that, basic stuff. But however, one of the biggest things is the redraw rate is really bad for the Hecate. Which this kit has one of the slower like regen rates or cooldown rates. So you could pretty much just as soon as you die or as soon as you want to like get more ammo for this, I guess you could do it again. But there's not really any reason to it because it's just a sniper class. It's only meant for like I said, picks and stuff. It's very good for taking vehicles, especially if you're storing beds. Other than that, it's not very good. It's decent enough at a distance. Like for example, you see zombies like running over there, scope them out. Other than that, not that great. On to the next. So final class, which is very controversial, is actually going to be Sasha Engineer. And the reason why this is so controversial is because at first we had so you have an industrial generator, you have a gas can. Now here's the deal: the birch jerry can has 275 fuel units. The industrial generator burns 1 fuel unit per 5 seconds. So you have about 1300 seconds, almost 1400 seconds of burn time, or about 22 minutes. But because all objects despawn within a 10-minute time zone, including sentries, spikes, everything, that won't be much of a problem. So originally we had paintballs to put in the sentries. Then we realized very quickly, the paintballs are so slow you can actually juke it if you're infected. Or even worse, it didn't really do much damage because some of the shots actually missed because it has so much bullet drop after like past 50 meters. So but by that, put Vipers. Armor multiplier is times 10. Alright, no, armor multiplier is times 4, so you're gonna survive a lot longer besides this. But while you're bleeding, it's strong enough so you start bleeding, so you can't regen as fast. And it's also good enough to deny area coverage. Also, you have 100 round 9 drums. Of course, you only have 10 minutes with this, and the game mode does last 10 minutes, but it's so big, any infected go and shut it off if the engineer isn't careful. And also, it takes about 12 shots to kill you with the times multiplier, which also causes some problems along the way. Just have some few like yelling netting and whatnot to stop you. Of course, you have 5 minutes, but as infected, you can just place on the bed and keep running towards these sentries, so they will run out of ammo eventually. And unless you have support, you're gonna run out of ammo pretty quickly, especially on a full server. If you try to serve with 12 people, these run out of ammo very quickly, so not gonna be that much of a problem. You have spikes, because spikes are insta kill. They will be some problem to the infected, but you can always just destroy them. Just like punch them, give them good old smack. Sitting with the claymores, just one smack. So you gotta be a little bit more tricky placing these down. But there are some special infected classes meant for taking this down. Anyways, on to the infected classes. No helmet because you gotta protect them. On to the infected. So /P remove sans survivor /P sans infected. Sorry, but now if I say some the chat color is different, and now I have access to different classes. So first class you're gonna get is /kit infected. Just your common infected. Just have thief, bedroll, so you can respawn over and over again. Excuse me. And just thief. So I can survive for long. Something I did forget to talk about is now you switch over to /skillset infected. And they had different skill sets, so you can't really pick up a gun and do everything. Besides, it despawns pretty quickly. However, next infected is going to have is /kit hunter. This is exactly the same, except you have spec outs vest to withstand a lot more stuff, but also you have a Zweihander to take a chop at those infected. Also over here, 3 shots to bring down to 88. That's bringing us 90 in a basic shot, and bringing us 76 in a strong charge shot. Does a lot of damage, and also you have a ladder in case you want to be super sneaky and do some yeet. Come up there. Other than that, there is not much to this kit besides just the armor. So yeah. Next kit is going to be /kit spitter. We thought this class was going to be a little bit more overpowered. Apparently not. All you literally get to everything except you have a paintball gun. Now with this paintball gun, what you do, you can like easily shoot them in the face. Not as easily, but you have a lot of paintballs. Sentries can't really affect them. Survivors, it is enough to make them bleed. So there's that. And that isn't much to it. Just yeah, like I said, there's a bullet drop. That's all there is to this kit. So yeah. Next kit is /kit spitter. No, /kit smoker. And you have a lot of smoke. Let's just say this building is contested. Just throw down some smoke and you'll be okay. Let's have numbered arrows. This is enough to knock them down half health. You hit him twice, you can knock out an entire survivor. Seems a little bit OP, but we tested before, it does knock him down to like 65 health. So even with the 2-shot, unless he doesn't get a medic right away, he's gonna be left on 8% health plus bleeding. And even if he has about like 30 seconds to get a medkit or uses a rag to fix himself before he dies. That's all there is to this kit. Next kit is /kit Boomer. And this is all there is to it besides the armor. This is literally it. Just go up there and say some Kapuya. Yeah, destroying barricades, destroying the survivors. That's about it. Besides that, it's just a tank, which is pretty much just, you have a lot of snowballs. You harm that, but if you throw a snowball over in the middle of this, it's a little bit crazy. I do not believe you could destroy these snowballs. No, you can't. But it's good enough so that way you could kill some survivors because you land someone next to them. What? Hold up, Chief. Oh, it's a bit weird because we changed our RV values a few times before. So from over here, yeah, it does kill you. So you have to be very careful with that. So, however, though, if it's like right here, it probably won't kill you. Yeah, they all kill you. Yeah. And then we have one final kit, which is decided about a bit ago. We didn't really decide it was like that much to like put it in until we saw some basic stuff. I like saw how it actually worked, and I was like, you know what, we'll put it in. This is kit Old Guard, and you have everything else, but you have a musket. Now the first musket shot, it is an actual musket shot, so you have to be careful with that. Besides that, you have a coin shot. And what the coin shot does, it's the musket shot has a base damage of 99, but the coin shot divides it into 3. So you could just take out some basic survivors, but you have to aim with it, because otherwise it's kind of trash. Even if you do aim with it, it's a little bit spread out. Yeah, that's pretty much all the kits there are to it. The warps, we're still working on those. Still working on warps. And yeah, that's all we have so far. But for snowballs and stuff, we might reconsider it. Considering that they do kind of suck. But yeah, that's all there is, Chief. That's all there is. We out.